up, everybody? Welcome to my channel, Master Dark Boy Gaming. Dark Boy here, episode 16 of Disc Golf Valley. In this one, we're going to take a look at Frozen Valley. This can be a tough one, but it's definitely a fun one. Be prepared for slides and water hazards. On this first hole, what I like to do is face the right side of the tree over here. I like to use a heavy turn disc. In my main profile, I usually use like a captain, something that has turn, to make this gap. But if you throw this correctly, not like that, you will land over by the basket. It might be a 20-25 meter putt, but you'll be close. This is a very easy hole. Easy to mess up too. Easy to over putt, easy to land in the water. Now this hole can be very tricky. This first tee shot can land you in the water very easily. Both sides, to be fair. However, if you do throw this right and you land on the ice correctly, you will skip off the front edge of the island here and you will have a nice position for your second throw. It is important not to mess this second throw up because it's also very easy to go in the water, left and right side. On the next throw here, though, if you throw correctly, you can get a look at the basket. It's deceivingly more uphill than it looks like. Uphill, downhill. The snow stops you pretty heavily, even with a big skip. I'm pretty far back here, but really not super difficult if you're talking about beginner player getting par. It's very easy to birdie this hole once you have the big bomber discs. So you're going to see that in Frozen Valley, that's where the big transition comes as far as big bomber discs and high level technicality throws. So over here, this can be difficult. You can go to the right side and land in the snow and follow the water line. That didn't work out the way I had hoped it would. However, if you do throw backhand or forehand off that tee shot and you land correctly, you will slide on this ice up here so far, and it will put you in such a fantastic putting spot. So easy to line up the eagle with the correct throw from that line. But if you go backhand, it's very easy to nail your birdie. Here I'm just trying to get that line straight so you can see the slide and how it works. It can be difficult and you can end up throwing 300 times. This is where the field work comes into play. You do it enough times and you know exactly where you need to be and how far back you need to throw. But that's what would happen right there, this slide, if you threw that first forehand correctly. And you see, it's a little far, but it's definitely within reach. Same as the last hole. This hole is very deceiving. This is definitely one where you're going to want to do the field work to get out there with your discs, especially if you're a new player, because it's so easy to mess this up in so many different ways. Most often I find that when I throw, I fade into the water on the left from this view. If I try to overcompensate, I end up throwing into the water on the right from this view. And if you throw too far forward, you end up in these little puddles. It's just very difficult. So I say if you have this throw down consistently, then you're doing something right because it's hard. And as you can see, bouncing off that rock mountain area can be your friend if you use it properly. It can also be your enemy because I can't tell you how many times I've hit that rock formation and went straight in the water. So this is definitely, in my opinion, one of the harder holes in the entire game. This is actually a very easy hole. If you just line up over here to your left, throw backhand, give it some good angle work there. And depending on what type of disc you throw, you could potentially land at the opening of the pathway here on this next set of trees. right here, I'm just deciding, you know what, I just need to get over there, however which way I can, hope and pray that I don't hit a tree. And I got pretty lucky. I don't recommend going that way. I've hit the tree 1,000 times going that way. So, especially trying to putt out of here. If you land in these trees and you're trying to putt out of here, you're going to find that chances are you're just not going to make it between the collision points of the trees, how many are in your way, how many you can't see. It's difficult. This is actually a very easy hole. 9 speed, no extra turn. Make sure you don't throw a disc with extra turn here. 9 speed, nice angle. You'll park it right under the basket. I've seen many people in online play ace this with this exact line I'm talking about. However, this drop shot is way hard. All right, 52 meters. There's water directly behind you. So if you mess it up, you're going to go hazard again. Very easy to mess up. So easy tee, but if you miss it, hard drop shot. Another one that's easy in my opinion. It's easy also to hit this tree to the right, kind of. But if you throw this right, you should park right by the basket. You saw how close I was to those branches, so those collision points can be quite brutal. This hole is actually very easy to mess up. If you try to throw the correct backhand, you could easily overshoot it and wind up way back in the trees, and you can also land right on the hillside just like that and roll down an OB. If you throw forehand, you can easily find yourself on the far side throwing through a bunch of trees for your second shot. And if you throw the wrong forehand short, you'll go right down this hillside into OB as well. So this is one that's going to take a little bit of field work to figure out which discs you have work with this hole. In my experiences, a musket or a 10 speed works just fine to get you where you need to be. Alright, so on this hole, if you have an extra turn big skip disc and pull it straight back, more often than not, you'll fly right into this mountain over here. It's treacherous. What I recommend is throwing an extra fade disc and making sure you get a solid S line out of it. You will make the Mando, because there is a Mando over here. And you will also have enough fade that you won't fly over into the OB on the far side of the mountain. I was trying to push it a little bit. So the correct S line can potentially land you in near the drop zone spot. In my experience, I threw a Rask with big skip on it, and the way that it faded around the Mando gave me the right angle that when I hit the big skip, it put me down here on this little frozen lake area. And I had only done that once. It was pretty amazing. So if you choose the right disc with the right throw, you could potentially be right by the basket. For me, it doesn't happen very often, but it is possible. All right, everybody, that was Frozen Valley. Thank you so much for your time. This is Master Dark Poi Gaming. I am Dark Poi. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the content, and hopefully I'll see you in the future.